She walked onto the first-class cabin wearing a simple ivory linen dress and modest flats. But they humiliated her and forced her to leave. They had no idea her billionaire husband owned the entire airline, and what happened next left everyone speechless. The Denver International Airport buzzed with the usual chaos. Families hauling luggage, business travelers tapping phones, announcements crackling overhead. It was a crisp March morning, the Rockies looming beyond the terminal's glass walls. Rachel Carter stepped off a shuttle bus, her ivory linen dress catching the breeze. At 34, she was striking in a quiet way. Chestnut hair, half-tied, hazel eyes, warm but steady, a worn silver bracelet from her grandmother glinting on her wrist. Her backpack, faded from years of use, held her laptop and a dog-eared novel. No designer suitcase, no flashy logos. She looked like anyone else, which was exactly how she wanted it. Rachel wasn't just anyone, though. She was married to Ethan Carter, a tech billionaire whose fortune topped $50 billion after his latest venture, Ether Air, redefined budget travel with heart. But Rachel, co-founder and 40% shareholder, insisted on flying commercial. Their private jet sat unused. She said it kept her tethered to the real world, to the people they served. Her boarding pass read, First Class 2A, a perk she rarely used. But today's flight to Seattle was a red-eye, and she craved a quiet seat to work. The first-class lounge was a sleek oasis, leather armchairs, soft jazz, baristas crafting lattes. Rachel bypassed it, heading straight to the gate. She handed her pass to the agent, a young woman named Claire, whose smile faltered. "Ma'am, can you confirm your name?" Claire asked, squinting at the screen. Rachel nodded, voice gentle. "Rachel Carter." Claire's eyes flicked over her dress, her backpack, then back to the pass. "One moment," she muttered, tapping furiously. A man nearby, in a crisp suit, smirked. "Economy's that way," he said under his breath, loud enough for Rachel to hear. She didn't react, her gaze fixed on the jetway ahead. As Rachel settled into 2A, a first-class passenger named Vanessa Reed, dripping in gold jewelry, leaned toward her neighbor, voice loud enough for all. "Who let her in? That dress looks like a dish rag." Her laugh sparked others, heads turning. "She's slumming it for attention," Vanessa added, snapping a photo. Another passenger chimed in. "Bet she's a gate crasher. Security's slipping." Their taunts filled the cabin, a public shaming. Rachel adjusted her bracelet, her face serene, but the venomous stares burned, relentless and unearned. Boarding began, and Rachel stepped into the first-class cabin of Ether Air's newest plane. Plush seats, warm lighting, the faint scent of lavender. She slid her backpack under 2A, settling in with her novel. That's when the trouble started. Flight attendant Miranda Kane, mid-40s with a tight bun and sharper eyes, approached. "Excuse me," she said, her tone clipped. "This is first class. Can I see your boarding pass?" Rachel handed it over, her smile polite. Miranda studied it, her lips thinning. "There's an issue. Stay here." She walked off, signaling two colleagues, Tracy Wells, younger, with a forced grin, and Logan Pierce, a lanky guy with a permanent scowl. The trio huddled by the galley, glancing at Rachel. "Does she look first class to you?" Tracy whispered, loud enough to carry. Logan snorted. "Bet she grabbed someone's pass." Miranda returned, holding the pass like evidence. "Ma'am, we need to verify this. Step to the side, please." Rachel stood, calm, as passengers filed past, their stares prickling her skin. A woman in a Chanel coat muttered, "Some people will try anything." A businessman, David Holt, chuckled to his seatmate. "What's next? Backpackers in the cockpit?" Rachel's fingers grazed her bracelet, but her face stayed serene. Miranda scanned the pass again, her frown deepening. "System says 2A is reserved for a VIP," she said, voice rising. "There's been an error. You're in economy, 32C. Rachel's brow lifted slightly. "I booked this seat," she said softly. "Can you check again?" Tracy stepped in, arms crossed. "Ma'am, don't make a scene. Economy's fine for you." Logan loomed behind, adding, "Move, or we'll call security." The cabin grew quiet, all eyes on Rachel. She nodded, grabbing her backpack, and followed them to the back, her steps measured, head high. The walk to economy was a gauntlet. Passengers whispered, phones sneaking photos. "She tried to sneak into first class," a teen said, giggling. "Look at her clothes, total scam," another hissed. In row 32, Rachel took her new seat, the cushion lumpy, the air stale. A man named Greg Vaughn in a loud tie leaned across the aisle. "Nice try, lady. Stick to your lane." His wife smirked, filming Rachel with her phone. "This'll go viral," she said, tapping away. Rachel opened her novel, her hands steady, but the cabin's hum felt like 1,000 tiny cuts. In economy, as Rachel stowed her backpack, a flight attendant named Carla, passing through, muttered loudly to Logan, "She's the one who caused all that fuss up front. Thinks she's special." Passengers nearby perked up, smirking. "Probably faked her ticket," a woman in yoga pants scoffed, nudging her friend. "No class, no cash," another added, filming Rachel's every move. Their whispers grew, a chorus of contempt. Rachel sat quietly, opening her book, but the cabin's hostility pressed hard, a public trial for daring to exist. As the plane taxied, Tracy made rounds, her smile bright for others, but gone for Rachel. "Need anything back here?" she asked, sarcasm dripping. "Or are you good with pretzels?" A few passengers laughed, egging her on. Logan passed by, tossing a blanket that landed half on Rachel's lap. "Don't say we didn't hook you up," he quipped, winking at Greg. Miranda from the front called out, "Focus on your job, Logan. Leave the charity case alone." Their laughter echoed, sharp and unapologetic. Rachel turned a page, her expression unchanged, but her hazel eyes caught the light, fierce beneath the calm. Greg's wife, Lisa, kept filming, narrating for her followers. "So this woman thought she could fake her way into first class. Look at her now," her voice carried, drawing snickers. "Bet she's never seen $1,000,000, Greg added, loud enough for the rows around. A college kid nearby, earbuds dangling, tweeted, "Lady and coach got owned. Tried to play rich, lol." The post spread, racking up likes. Rachel's fingers paused on her book, but she didn't look up, her silence a wall against their scorn. Takeoff was smooth, but the cabin's tension lingered. Miranda strutted through, her badge gleaming. "Economy's full of surprises today," she said to Tracy, glancing at Rachel. "Some people don't know their place." Tracy nodded, handing out drinks but skipping Rachel's row. "Oops, ran out," she said, shrugging. Logan, pushing the cart, muttered, "Should have stayed home, backpack girl." A woman named Ellen in a loud floral dress overheard and laughed. "She's probably writing a sob story for her blog," she said, sparking more chuckles. Rachel sipped water from her own bottle, her poise unbroken, but the air grew heavier. During meal service, Miranda walked through economy, her tray of first-class menus bypassing Rachel. "Nothing for her," she said to Tracy, loud enough for Rose to hear. "She's lucky to be on board at all." Passengers snickered, a man muttering, "Should have walked to Seattle." A teen nearby tweeted, "Crew roasting this fake rich lady. Iconic." The jabs kept coming, each one sharper, as phones captured Rachel's calm face. She sipped her water, unruffled, but the crew's open disdain fueled the crowd's cruelty, a spectacle of scorn. Mid-flight, Greg leaned over again. "Hey, what's your deal? You scam tickets often?" His tone was playful but cruel, his wife's phone still rolling. Rachel met his gaze, her voice soft. "I'm just traveling, like you." He scoffed. "Yeah, but we paid for it." Lisa zoomed in, whispering, "This is gold. Budget Barbie strikes out." Their taunts drew a crowd. Ellen joined in, saying, "Bet she's dodging fares next." The cabin felt like a stage. Rachel, its unwilling star, her dignity tested with every word. The plane landed in Seattle at dawn, the sky a soft gray. Rachel waited as others deplaned, her backpack slung over one shoulder. Miranda stood at the exit, her smile reserved for first-class passengers. "Hope you learned something," she said as Rachel passed, her tone icy. Tracy chimed in, "Stick to buses next time." Logan just smirked, waving her off. Outside, Rachel hailed a cab, her face calm, but her phone buzzed. Lisa's video, now viral, captioned, "First class fail. Know your place." It had 2 million views and counting. At the gate in Seattle, as Rachel waited to deplane, a group of first-class passengers lingered, their voices carrying. "She's the one who held us up," David Holt said, pointing. "Trying to play VIP in that outfit. Pathetic." His wife nodded, adding, "Ether's too good for her kind." Others joined in, snapping photos, one tweeting, "Budget chick ruined first class." The crowd's laughter swelled, a final jab. Rachel stood patiently, backpack ready, her grace untouched, but their malice lingered, a parting wound. X was ablaze by morning. "Ether Air humiliates passenger," one post screamed, sharing the clip. "Classist much?" another read with thousands of retweets, comments piled on. "Those attendants are trash." She didn't deserve that, but others were crueler. Dressed like that, her fault. No way she's first class, scammer. Rachel sat in her hotel, scrolling the storm, her expression unreadable. She didn't reply, didn't rant. Instead, she opened her laptop, pulling up a file labeled Ether Air Service Incidents. Her fingers moved fast, her focus sharp. At Ether Air's Seattle headquarters, a glass tower overlooking Puget Sound, the boardroom was tense. Miranda, Tracy, and Logan sat near the front, their uniforms crisp, expecting praise for protecting the brand. They'd been flown in, told it was urgent. Miranda whispered to Tracy, probably a bonus for handling that wannabe. Logan nodded, smug. The room filled. Executives, shareholders, a PR team tapping tablets. Then the doors opened and Ethan Carter walked in, his presence commanding. At 39, he was lean, with dark hair and eyes that could warm or burn. Behind him was Rachel, in the same ivory dress, her backpack gone, her bracelet catching the light. The trio froze. Ethan took the head of the table, Rachel beside him. "Thank you for coming," he said, his voice low but steel-edged. "Yesterday, a passenger was humiliated on Flight 472. You moved her from first class to economy, questioned her right to be there, and mocked her in front of others." Miranda's smile faded. Tracy shifted, uneasy. Logan's smirk vanished. Ethan clicked a remote and Lisa's video played on a screen. Every word, every laugh, crystal clear. The room went silent, the attendants' faces paling. Ethan leaned forward. "The woman you humiliated is Rachel Carter, my wife, co-founder of Ether Air. She holds 40% of this company and wrote the customer service charter you're sworn to uphold." Gasps rippled. Miranda's hands trembled. Tracy stared at the floor. Logan's jaw clenched, his eyes darting for an exit. Ethan's voice hardened. "You didn't just break policy, you broke trust with her, with every passenger who boards our planes." Rachel stood, her voice calm but piercing. "I'm not here to point fingers," she said, sliding a report across the table. "This documents 27 incidents of class-based discrimination on Ether Air flights, passengers judged by their clothes, their bags, their accents. I was one. Others weren't so lucky." She paused, her hazel eyes sweeping the room. "I'm not asking for compensation, I'm asking for justice, for those without the power I have." The board leaned in, some nodding, others scribbling notes. Miranda tried to speak. "We thought... she didn't look..." Ethan cut her off. "You thought wrong, and you acted worse." He turned to the board. "We need to decide. Do we protect our brand for profit or for people?" A vote was called. Hands rose, unanimous. The PR head, a woman named Sarah Lynn, proposed a plan. "We retrain, we reform, we rebuild trust," she said. Rachel nodded, adding, "Start with accountability." The trio's fates were sealed, not fired but reassigned. Miranda would spend a month at the customer complaint desk facing angry callers. Tracy got a month serving economy, no shortcuts. Logan was sent to baggage claim, hauling bags in the rain. All three faced mandatory training under Rachel's charter, line by line. The board approved a new initiative, Respect Beyond Appearance, a global campaign to retrain staff, redesign policies, and ensure no passenger felt less than human. Rachel's report became its blueprint, her vision, its heart. Tracy's economy stint broke her. Serving crowded rows, she faced glares from passengers who'd seen the video. "You're the one who mocked her," a mother snapped, refusing her tray. Tips dried up, her charm useless. Online, her name trended with #classist crew, her past boasts ridiculed. She trained under Rachel's charter, each rule a reminder of her failure. Rachel's campaign soared while Tracy's pride crumbled, her lesson etched in every ignored smile. Miranda's reassignment hit hard. At the complaint desk, she faced endless calls, angry passengers citing her viral cruelty. "You shamed that woman," one yelled, quoting Rachel's story. Her colleagues distanced her, her badge a mark of shame. Ex-users dug up her old posts, exposing her snobbery. At night, she scrolled "Can't Ether apologize," her name trashed. Rachel's initiative thrived, while Miranda's arrogance cost her respect, her career now a lesson in humility. The fallout was swift. Lisa's video, once a weapon, backfired. Ex-users dug into Miranda's LinkedIn, Tracy's old tweets, Logan's public posts, calling out their elitist vibes. A hashtag, Ether apologize, trended, but so did hashtag Rachel rises, with fans posting, "She's the real deal." Lisa deleted her account. her viral fame souring. Greg issued a weak apology online. It was buried under backlash. The media pounced. CNN, billionaire's wife shames airline bias. On Forbes, Rachel Carter redefines class. 3 months later, Rachel boarded another Ether Air flight, Denver to Chicago. Same ivory dress, same bracelet, same backpack. The gate agent, a new hire named Maya, smiled warmly. "Welcome, Ms. Carter." The cabin was bright, the crew attentive. Logan stood at the entrance, his uniform slightly wrinkled, his nod respectful. "Welcome back, Ms. Carter," he said, voice low. "Thank you for the lesson." Rachel met his eyes, her smile soft, not smug. She took seat 2A, opened her novel, and settled in. The flight was smooth, the service flawless. A young woman in a hoodie, clutching a worn duffel, sat across the aisle. The crew treated her like royalty. Extra pillows, a warm meal, a kind word. Rachel watched, her heart full, knowing this was the change she'd fought for. Not for her, but for everyone. The plane soared over the plains, the horizon endless, and Rachel turned another page, her work just beginning. She'd turned their cruelty into a new kind of sky, one where no one flew beneath anyone else. Sometimes, the most powerful statements come without a single raised voice. Just a quiet woman in a linen dress who refused to shrink. If this story touched something in you, remember, respect isn't worn, it's earned. And sometimes, the most powerful people in the room are the ones no one bothered to look at. Like, share, comment, and subscribe if you believe dignity should never depend on how someone looks. Because sometimes, one quiet woman in a simple dress can change the way the world sees itself.